Good morning, Victoria.
Hello, Wayne.
Today I am going to educate you on Venice in the Elizabethan era. This is going to help you in your understanding for your reading of The Merchant of Venice.
Alright, I am ready to learn.
Good. Today I'm going to review with you several things, including its cosmopolitan character, the different goods it traded, the politics it was involved in, the establishment of the banks in the city, its different geographical advantages, as well as its involvement in the architecture and art of the time.
Sounds so interesting. Sorry.
Thanks. So I am going to start with the cosmopolitan character of Venice. In that time period, Venice mainly traded with and made business interactions with a large variety of countries, many of them from the east. This made Venice one of the most populous cities in Italy at the time, which in turn made the cultural diversity very strong. The broad expanse of Venice's trade region made it that way.
So Venice had a strong cosmopolitan character?
Yes, it did. Which leads to the type and variety of goods Venice traded with other countries. Variation of cultures in Venice made trade more diverse. Some items which are known to be traded included all of these and more: gems, mineral dyes, silks, cottons, different raw materials, spices from the east, minerals, wool and woven cloth. Many others were traded, but listing them all would take a while.
Amazing. I did not know that.
Okay. Well, now I am going to explain the politics of Venice in the Elizabethan era. Just like Florence, another major city-state of the time, Venice was a republic, and also similar to an empire because it owned a large amount of land, a large portion of the Adriatic Sea coast and many islands throughout. Its political climate was stable and the thriving trade economy was very beneficial and had endured the Black Plague without suffering major losses, and having an extremely powerful navy provided it with capability to defend itself easily and maintain a secure society.
Well then. So Venice was a very well set up city.
It really was. But I still have more to say. On to how the banking system was established now. In the late 15th century, the business of banking was dominated in most all cities by the rich families of Italy, and in Venice it was very much the same.
Okay.
Yeah. Now I am going to talk about how the city of Venice had geographical advantages to support it. First, the city was on the coast of the Adriatic Sea like I mentioned earlier. This lets the city have immunity to attack with the overwhelming navy they have built. And being in control of so much of the coast, Venice has the ability to run as many ships as it wants in and out for trade. Also, Venice's geographic location made it less susceptible to outside influences, as well as the coast. Venice was surrounded by a marsh inland. This completed the circle of defense that Venice is encompassed by. The idea of assaulting a city by land when there is marsh all around it is deterring because of how hard maneuvering would be. The city also was near the Silk Road, which opened it to the possibility of trade on the largest route in the whole of Asia and Eastern Europe.
Alright, so Venice is well-rounded in defense and travel too.
Yes, Victoria. So I am just about at the end of my presentation. All that's left now is Venice's role in art and architecture. The Merchant of Venice takes place in the rise of the Renaissance. This is known to be one of the most influential and important periods of time in history for the development and creation of artworks and new design and concepts, so Venice partook in this rise with its wealth and high level of education. In Venice, much of its wealth had helped in creating and funding the artists, sculptors, painters and architects when they would seek to create or make a new project. Venice also was able to maintain a unique artistic art style because its location minimalized outside influences.
So it played a big role?
Relatively. It did have a fair share of importance. So finally I'm going to explain to you what part of this has to do with the Merchant of Venice, as Antonio, who is the Merchant of Venice. In the play, Antonio is known to be one of the wealthier traders and is known well for his success. He has 5 trade ships, and that means several of these factors are important to how Antonio came to his level of wealth. Antonio used the geographical aspect of Venice because his trade ships all ran through the port, which means they used the Adriatic Sea. He used the banking system because he would loan out money to people. But he did not charge interest, which has made Shylock the Jew hate him even more than he might have. Trade goods also made a difference to Antonio. He is responsible for the transport of a great deal of goods from many places in the world, which means he contributes to the diversity of goods that come through Venice as well.
So then Antonio does have involvement in parts of what you told me?
Yes. And that is all for my presentation, and thank you for listening.
You're welcome, Wayne. Have a good day and thank you for sharing with me.
You're welcome. Have a good day as well. It was a pleasure. See you later.
See you too.